here's a little trivia. Yeah, Ravencroft's appearance is supposed to resemble a young Stephen King.
Okay.
And his name is supposed to be a reference to Lovecraft. So they're really double dipping.
So it's six in one hand, half dozen in the other.
Yeah.
Welcome to Direct to Video. VHS?
VHS?
A podcast where we pair movies like fine wine. I am your host, Tony Robusto.
I am your host, Andy Reyes.
And this metaphor does not go with the wine one, but I'm calling this our Dog Days of Summer.
Oh, yeah.
This is our Dog Days of Summer special where we're watching Scooby-Doo movies.
I believe it would be our Rog Rays of Rummer.
Terrible. I love it. Can I mention my problem with watching Scooby-Doo movies, Andy?
Uh-huh.
They're not bad.
No, they're fine. They're incredibly watchable and deeply entertaining.
Which I don't know if it makes for good radio, you know? Because they're just like, we watched them, we're like, that one was pretty good. This one, though, it's gotta be good radio, because it does have Tim Curry in it. It also
it's not as good for a lot of reasons.
It's not, but there's like, there's a bit that I loved about this movie. Mm-hmm. This movie can't decide if it's counterculture or vanilla as shit. And
it's got ideas. It's got ideas about ideas.
It for a bit really thinks it's counterculture, and then for a bit really thinks it's super not.
I can tell you why that is. I got some production history for you.
Okay.
So, Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, incredibly successful. Like, did gangbusters, did really well on the network, did really well in DVD sales, did so well, in fact, that when the team that created the movie was given the green light to do Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost, a bunch of Warner Brothers execs stepped in.
Okay.
And were like, the last movie was too scary. So we're going to bring in a team of writers that we trust to write this next movie.
Interesting.
And so those writers were Rick Kopp and David Goodman.
Have they done Scooby-Doo before?
I don't think so.
Huh.
I think they're like kind of like well-known kids writers. But the thing is that two writers that have done Scooby-Doo before, Davis Doy and Glenn Leopold, then punched up the ending because they thought the ending sucked.
Interesting. I wonder if they were the reason Tim Curry dies.
Yes, they were.
It feels like really out of left field because it felt like he like backed off on being evil. And then they're like, no, he gets dragged into the book and burned anyway.
He gets the most Evil Dead ending I think I've seen in a while.
I'll say what I like about this movie. I like a few things about this movie straight up. The first half of this movie is a normal Scooby-Doo episode, but you can tell it's wrapping up so early that you're like, okay, there's gonna be a second not normal Scooby-Doo episode after this.
You're looking at that runtime and you're thinking, alright, but like, what happens now?
2, I like the Hex Girls. I did not know how 90s they were. I guess I just kind of assumed that they were always part of Scooby-Doo canon.
Mm-hmm.
But the version of them in this movie is so, like, in conversation with Evanescence. I did not realize that the Hex Girls were just, like, kind of 90s goth punks.
Yeah. The Hex Girls really does feel like the most original idea. Like, it feels kind of out of place in this movie in a way that feels like so much like older Scooby-Doo stuff, you know, where they would just have like a famous celebrity.
Right. Modern Scooby-Doo will figure out what they want to do with the Hex Girls. They're weird in this movie, for sure.
I'm just surprised that they never got their own property. Like,
it is kind of weird, right? Because it almost feels like a crossover between Hanna-Barbera things.
Yeah.
Where, like, they meet fucking the Captain Caveman or whatever.
Yeah. The didgeridoo car.
Right.
I'm struggling to remember the names of any other Hanna-Barbera properties.
The Hex Girls also have 2 songs, and one of them is pretty good, and one of them is pretty terrible, so...
But the one that's pretty good is pretty good. Right? Like, there is a moment in this movie where we just take a break and we just become like an animated pitch for the Gorillas.
It's kind of what it is.
It kind of kicks ass.
So, this film opens, as all good films do, on dinosaurs.
Yes. Correct.
And the gang is in a museum, and they are doing the classic Scooby-Doo thing of pretending to be, like, models in the museum, and they're being real creeps. They're really creeping on this old man.
I for a moment, it feels like, I don't know if you've ever played any of the, like, new Hitman game, but it feels like that. Like, this guy's just going around doing his own thing, and they're just, like, really, really, like, Agent 47ing it up. Like, they're gonna drop, like, a disco ball on this guy, killing him instantly.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're just gonna get in a speedboat and drive away. So, the first monster we get in this movie are Draugr, which is cool.
Yes.
I feel like this is a much stronger start than the last movie. I felt like the monster there was kind of lame. But this time we have, like, undead Norsemen.
Well, I think in the last movie it's a little bit poetic, right? Like, they're getting out of the game at that point.
We talked about how for some reason they're fighting the fucking creature of the Black Lagoon in a castle. And, like,
it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Weirdly inconsistent.
But now they're getting back into the game. We got some good shit.
So, the thing about this first bit is 3/5 of the gang aren't even working today. Fred, Daphne, and Velma are asleep at the fucking wheel. And Scooby and Shaggy are just, like, running up and down trying to outrun these Draugr until Tim Curry has to save them.
So, we have to stop here.
Yeah.
There was a soft rock cover. We got a punk rock cover of the theme song in the last movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
This time we get, like, a kind of alt-country cover. Did you recognize who this was?
I did not.
That was Billy Ray Cyrus.
That's such a weird get.
Such a weird get.
This is again a good highlighting of how this movie cannot tell if it's super vanilla or not.
Right, Billy Ray Cyrus. I think in the early when this movie came out, 99. In 99 is kind of, skirting that line. He's not Achy Breaky Heart anymore, but he's not, like, he's not Hannah Montana's dad yet.
Right.
I don't know. It's so weird. Such an odd choice. So yeah, then the most evil-looking human being.
Most evil sounding! I mean, I like Tim Curry. I'm currently listening to an audiobook read by him. He sounds evil!
He sounds evil and struggling to hide his accent in this.
Okay, he says the most hilarious line in a couple scenes from now where he says that, he grew up in this New England place, but he spends most of his time overseas now. And I wonder if they gave him that line to explain his accent. Which does kind of, like, he sounds like Tim Curry. He sounds recognizably like Tim Curry. Which
110%.
means he doesn't sound like he's from New England.
Like, listen, I understand that it happens, right? Like, the guy who directed Batman and Inception, I forget his name right now. He was like born and raised in London, considers himself like a Chicagoan because that's where he spent most of his childhood, was in Chicago. But right,
Sure.
but like it is pushing the limits of believability to have Tim Curry say, that he's from rural Massachusetts.
Oh, that's the other thing. I feel like this movie is kind of trying to sneak in a little Lovecraft stuff with all this Massachusetts thing. I know And I know that, like, probably it's more like witch stuff, but it just felt like here's an author from this place. And I felt like they were trying to lean Lovecraft in a weird way because there's no Lovecraft shit.
This felt like a throw up to Stephen King for me.
You thought it was Stephen King. That makes sense.
Like, weirdo, evil guy from like a rural town on an East Coast state. This feels like a Stephen King send-up. But, like, I've heard Stephen King talk, and he just sounds like a normal guy. Right? Like, he sounds like a pencil pusher. But, like if Stephen King walked around and was like, "It's me! Famous horror writer!" You know? From rural Maine.
I am so sad that Tim Curry is not in shit anymore.
He's Mondo retired now. But
it's just, he was the best. It's such a good voice.
You knew when he showed up, you were in for a good time.
It's a good time. So not only is he the most evil-looking dude, the most evil-sounding dude, not only does he write horror stories, but he gives this fucking bullshit reason as to why he would even be in this museum after dark. He is the most suspicious man you ever met. And the thing that this movie does pretty well, I don't know if it did it for you, but it kind of did it for me. It almost made me forget that, just because it's been so long on a different mystery.
I genuinely thought it was a red herring. I was like, this is too much. This has to just be like a normal dude.
Yeah, I was like, also Tim Curry's here. So he invites them, but weirdly, like, specifically Velma. Velma is so hot for Tim Curry, who I should find his real name.
The relationship with other guy must have really not worked out.
I mean, look, they left New Orleans. What was she gonna do?
Oh, this actually brings up another great point for me.
Yeah.
I don't think, and I don't think anyone in Massachusetts would disagree with me. Mm-hmm. I don't think rural Massachusetts is quite the iconic a locale as New Orleans.
I think you're right. But you can do, like, witch trial stuff in Massachusetts.
But why not Salem, then?
I mean, yeah.
Why not Salem, you know, if you're gonna go so hard on this?
I don't know. Maybe they just like the idea of a town that they could destroy. You can't destroy New Orleans. You can't destroy Salem. But some little town in the middle of nowhere, fucking... like Silent Hill style, where, like, you could just drive into some nowhere town and there's a bunch of people living there and they all have stories.
They're all weird.
But who knows what it all means, you know?
But they're not, like, as much as I do think you're right, I do think they're trying to kind of, like, hint a little bit at Lovecraft. This isn't really anything like that, right? In terms of, like, theme and tone. Like, they really go all in on, like, no, we're going to be about witches.
The people are not creepy. Even when it turns out, spoilers, even when it turns out that they are all in on it in the funniest move because everybody's just hiding behind a tree. Even when they turn out they're all in on it, you don't get a measure of, like, of it being, like, sinister. It's just like, of course they're all in on it. They literally just want a local witch to drive sales up so they get tourists.
Yeah, their economy is entirely based on tourism, which means that they're, like, destined to disappear into obscurity at some point. They want to push that as hard as they can.
But it makes the whole thing feel like... I think probably the first half of the movie is supposed to feel so not spooky that when you get to the spooky shit, you're like, oh, okay, here we go.
Right, correct. I forgot.
Which, again, I kind of like that technique. The last movie we watched was a lot of fun, but the whole time you were like, there is something fucked up about this house in New Orleans.
Right, 110%. But the other thing, right, is that, like, this movie doesn't go anywhere near as hard as the last one.
I would argue for the ending that goes...
Okay, yes.
weirdly unnecessarily hard, but there's never a bit where, like, there's never a transformation sequence, there's never a skeleton that grows skin, like, horrifyingly.
Or loses skin horrifyingly.
Loses the skin. It sure doesn't feel like they gave it to a crack Japanese team to be
except for the Hex Girls music video. Where all of a sudden it feels so much like it was animated by a crack Japanese artist. Like,
Shaggy and Scooby are afraid of the Hex Girls, and it was the moment that I was like the most disgusted by them, because I was like, these could not more obviously just be goths.
just regular goths.
Just regular goths. There's a bit where he asks, "What about the fangs? What about the fucking fangs, Shaggy?"
Some people have sharp teeth, dude. Also, yeah, like, they're fake.
Yeah, obvious. Like, come on. I also think that if you wanted to get your teeth made into fangs, like, physically, it actually wouldn't be that difficult. It's, like, not...
No.
Just to have them kind of look like that, if you really wanted to go that route.
People do that in real life. Like, it's a thing.
I follow a singer who has elf ears. You have them, like, surgically...
Yeah,
just like made into tips, and like he likes that. So like, why not? I think Shaggy needs to understand that sometimes singers are a little weird and just move on.
But also, who the fuck is he to throw stones in his glass house? Sorry, hold on. We gotta step a little bit back here. I think Shaggy and Scoob are kind of insufferable in this movie for a bit. It's like I understand that their whole thing is that they're scared and they like eating, but I don't know. Something about this movie, I was at a point where I was like, guys, we're 30 minutes in. You gotta shape up. This is your job.
I think I was a little bit more lenient toward this movie. One, for Tim Curry. Two, because it's a Velma-led movie.
Yes, which the last movie also Velma-led in a way.
Well, but I feel like the last movie was really about Fred and Daphne.
Yeah.
And Fred and Daphne, I feel like it must be hard to write a movie for 5 characters, because Fred and Daphne are really shoved to the side for this one.
Deeply sidelined.
So they go to Tim Curry's...
mansion.
I'm sorry. I need a moment. I need to say his character's name one time.
Yes.
What the fuck is his name?
Ben Ravencroft.
All right. Good name, actually.
Sorry, because I have a quote here. Ben Ravencroft, the famous horror writer.
Love it.
Truly. Sure.
Their souls have been avenged, Shaggy.
Right, yeah, exactly. That same energy. I do love when they get to Massachusetts before they visit his Ben Ravencroft's manor. They're talking about like, oh, there's this band that's going to be playing in town, and Fred just goes, "Oh, the Hex Girls," and everyone's like, "Whoa, what do you know that we don't?" He's like, "I read the sign."
I read the sign. It's pretty good. This is like Fred's big contribution to this, except a second later. They have this, like, Puritan town. Gross. Then they have this, like, historical Puritan town that they're setting up that Ravencroft did not know that the town was doing, and he doesn't like it. And it's all around how there used to be this witch that lived here. And Fred is like, let me guess, they dug up her grave. Fred thinks this is fucking hilarious. And I think that Fred messing with graves funny is funny. It
really is like a perk of the job, right? Like he has lost a little bit of his sensitivity to this. Would you guys accidentally run into some sort of burial ground? Yeah, dude, that does happen.
You talked about finding Scooby-Doo and Shaggy insufferable. Scooby does an insufferable thing in this scene where he takes a butter churn and starts playing it like it's
a guitar.
An electric guitar.
Yeah.
And the whole time I was like, why isn't he eating the butter? That's a Scooby-Doo joke.
Everybody's pointing and laughing in a way that feels really sinister. It really doesn't land, this joke. whatever
it's
this
bad.
is. Quotation marks around joke. At one point around here, Shaggy puts himself in a stockade and says, and I have a quote here, "Look, Scoob, I've been a bad boy," which is a bit much for me.
They also find a buckle that I remember writing down. That buckle is going to be important. I was right. Because obviously.
Yeah, like, come on.
It's funny, again, the counterculture stuff in this movie. Velma, when they're talking to Ravencroft, very much is taking a pro-witch stance.
Yes.
She's like, oh, many of the people who were killed weren't actually witches. This woman was probably a Wiccan healer and was so good and was awesome, and Wiccans are different from witches and they're awesome and we love them. And, like, the rest of the gang will not internalize this information.
It really feels like Velma's, like, talking to a bunch of sponges. Like, even Ravencroft has an amount of disinterest in this, which, to be fair, later we find out why, but, like,
right.
In the moment, it just kind of feels like, man, Velma, you need to get some friends. Like, these people are your coworkers.
You should not watch Scooby-Doo hungry. If you are hungry, you should not put on an episode of Scooby-Doo.
Truly. I'm still craving an apple pie.
Scooby and Shaggy go to a diner and, like, it all looks pretty good. Not like Studio Ghibli good, but, like, pretty good. And I was watching this before lunch and I was like, damn, why aren't I at a diner?
I don't know what it is about. I feel like anything that focuses on food, they always have, like, one food that they do, like, really, really well. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what it is about sandwiches and Scooby-Doo shit, but, like, I just immediately crave a sandwich.
Just want to mess up a sandwich.
Just destroy a sandwich.
Yeah.
These guys put this diner out of business for the day.
I mean, here's the thing. Ravencroft explicitly says that he'll pay for it.
Oh, man.
All they're really doing is draining Stephen King's coffers.
Him getting dragged to hell is probably a mercy at that point, right? Like,
he doesn't have to declare bankruptcy.
Like, at one point, the owner of the diner has to do a grocery run to restock his professional kitchen. And
Scooby does a slow smile that is legitimately upsetting in this diner, and I hated it. I was like, why is Scooby the most evil thing in this movie?
Again, it's a real tone problem.
Yeah. So, do we see the ghost at all yet? I don't think so. I think probably Shaggy and Scooby see it first.
Because everyone, and I mean everybody, like the town, the tourists, they're all hanging out in the Puritan town, hoping that they'll get to see the ghost that night. It's a no-show. All the tourists leave. They're like, we'll just go to the concert tomorrow. But then while Shaggy and Scoob are making their way from the diner to, I think, the Puritan town, they get chased down the street by the ghost.
Now, is this before or after they run into the Hex Girls? Because I think it's just after.
Just after.
They get freaked out by seeing the Hex Girls in an alley, and it's like, these are 3 teenage girls. Y'all need to get with it. But they get freaked out again, and the Hex Girls, I realize, look very 90s. And
which is terrifying, sure.
Yeah. Shaggy runs down the street and runs into a fucking real-ass flying ghost, and they don't like that either. So they get chased down. Velma notices that the ghost cut off the tops of the trees as it was flying by. Like maybe it was some kind of wire. And then they hear the Hex Girls performing. And this is when it just does become a music video for a little while. They just go and watch the Hex Girls.
This is insane. Why do they have to practice on a full stage, like fully set up? That's not normally how this goes. First of all, their concert's tomorrow. They should be done practicing.
Well, I can understand wanting to get one more in. It is they seem pretty offended that somebody is listening to them practice as though they are now not outside in the venue where they're going to be playing the show.
at the time that they're going to be playing.
If I were either local or a tourist, I might stop by the day before if I knew the Hex Girls might be practicing.
110%. I was one of those people. I still am one of those people who, like, if an event is being set up and there's no one around, I'm climbing a fence. I'm getting in there, just looking around. It's public property.
Everybody is immediately suspicious of the Hex Girls.
This is wild. Again.
For as far as I can tell, no reason except for the fact that they're goths.
They're goths, yeah. Velma is like, I know what I said earlier about persecuting witches, but these goth witches seem mighty persecutable to me.
And this is, again, my problem where a second ago, this felt counterculture, and now it's very much like, these girls in my suburbia?
Right, yeah. In my quaint Americana town? No, thank you.
And so they send Fred and Daphne to trail the Hex Girls, and Shaggy and Scooby to trail the mayor, who I guess they also saw at this point.
Yeah, because he's like snooping around. While Shaggy and Scoop trail the mayor, Ravencroft and Velma break into the mayor's shed.
Right. Yes.
How do you feel about the mayor?
What, like romantically?
No. No. I looked this up because I needed to know. The mayor sounds like such a specific guy. He has a voice that I would describe as iconic.
Okay.
He sounds fake. He sounds made up. In fact, he sounds so extreme that at first I was like, I think this mayor has a bad voice actor. But I looked it up and this is just what that guy sounds like.
Wow.
Like, this is a guy who like has like the most beyond parody New Englander accent.
I did not have that issue with the mayor. It's possible it's just because I used to live further north and occasionally heard a New Englander accent.
Yeah.
And maybe you've just always lived so far southwest. It's like, when would you have even heard it?
110%. I'm probably just not used to it, but it struck me as like so extreme.
Let's break these all down individually. So, Fred and Daphne follow Thorn and the rest of her teammates. Thorn, or bandmates. Thorn is the main. She's going to be the one we give a shit about. The other two are kind of just her entourage, as far as this movie is concerned.
They are her backup singers, both literally and figuratively.
Thorn says a thing that sure sounds like she's trying to initiate sex.
It truly... They have to go do their special ritual.
And, like, it really sounds like she just struck out with her teammates real quick.
Guys, come on, we're always going around and doing our special midnight ritual.
Let's do our special midnight ritual. We need to let off some steam, you know?
Oh, no, we're tired. We have a big day tomorrow. I think we should just get some rest. I'm just not in the mood tonight.
She decides to do her special midnight ritual alone, which, again, just sounds like something you shouldn't be following a woman to watch her do. But they follow her, and she is like, they see her using a mortar and pestle, and they're immediately like, Thorn's a witch.
She's a witch. She's a filthy witch.
A filthy witch. Speaking of filth, Scooby and Shaggy are following the mayor. It's not a terrible scene, because he keeps turning around, and they do the cartoon thing where they're behind stuff.
I genuinely love this.
And he... At one point, they get ahead of him, and he walks past them, making out, and goes like, "Ah, young love." Unspeakable filth. Not pranked. Because they're both males, because one of them's a dog.
Yeah, one of them is a dog, and is, in my opinion, is an animal before it's any gender.
Although he can't speak, which does make it.
I don't think that they were really making out. I think they were, like, actor making out, right? Like, cheek to cheek.
I don't know. You had to hide that dog muzzle somewhere.
I think you could. I think the framing is pretty clear that the hat was doing most of the work. That the fedora. I don't know if I would walk past somebody wearing a trench coat and a fedora and think, young love in 1999. I'd be like, that retired couple's getting it on.
Sir, ma'am, you have a house and a pension.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Scooby-Doo's wearing like a 40s like garden dress.
So, I think they're supposed to. I think they're dressed like the tourists in the Puritan town.
Yeah,
but the mayor is doing some like possibly weird stuff. The thing that I honestly couldn't figure out about the mayor until the big reveal is that if he is doing something suspicious, everybody seems to know about it because he visits so many people and takes stuff and delivers stuff. And I was like, exactly what could the mayor be up to? Is he a red herring? Because this all seems just because there's so many people here. And the mayor was not the red herring. It's just everybody else was in on it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the thing about the mayor that really like gets to me is like either they're just doing tax fraud, which like, you know, is a crime.
It's not the Scooby Gang's job to do tax fraud, though.
Right, they deal with property crime specifically.
they do deal with a lot of property crimes. Occasionally, a murder cold case. Sometimes.
Yeah, or something about like a factory going out of business. Like they deal in bankruptcy, but this is clear evidence of like some form of embezzlement, maybe, and this is like kind of above their pay grade in a sense.
I'm fairly certain, do not get paid.
No. Or, this is a small town. It's like 11 p.m. Like, maybe he's just running errands for people, because, like, that's what you do when you're a small town mayor and you're friends with everybody.
Right.
Like, these people voted for you because they voted for you for the, like, high school president. Like...
You gotta make sure they still like you.
Yeah, it's like, oh, yeah, I'll go around and I'll pick you up your hose for you. Vote for me next year. I don't know what the fuck this guy sounds like.
Not quite like that. That was more Minnesota, I think. But
once again, I am so Western Southwestern. I cannot go east of the Mississippi in my accents.
That's how it works, probably. What happens with the other two, with Velma and Tim Curry?
There's
like a machine in there or something?
Yeah, no, this really pissed me off. They break into this shed, and they find a truck, like an electrician's truck, and they're both like, "What's this truck doing here? Who could have possibly driven it?"
That was the strangest thing. When they saw the mayor leave, who could have possibly driven it? It's the last question
on my mind. I know who drove it. The guy who locked up the barn.
The question is, why did the mayor drive this truck here?
At this time of night.
They don't even look inside the truck or anything. They knew there was a truck. There were tire tracks. That's
license and registration is in that truck.
This is just to set up how the witch was eventually, like, how they do the witch, but it felt like they stopped their investigation as soon as they saw the truck.
And then Scooby and Shaggy, quote unquote, see the real witch while they're following the mayor.
Mm-hmm.
And cause some pretty severe property damage.
They do run through the back of that barn. Now, it looks like a real barn. There's two barns.
Sorry, I forgot that the mayor goes from one barn in the middle of nowhere to another barn in the center of town.
Okay, in that case, that barn might be fake.
Which one?
That might be... the second barn might be a barn set up for the Puritan town.
The one in the middle of town?
Right.
No, that one has to be a real barn. That, like, clearly the town grew around.
Alright, whatever. It's all weird.
It doesn't make sense. Why do you have two barns?
Anyway, we are getting so close to the wrap-up that this is when I was like, there's gotta be a second ghost, right?
There's gotta be another act. Something.
Because we are getting to the end of this. Oh, and sorry, we didn't mention this. This ghost is supposedly Ravencroft's ancestor.
Oh, that's right.
Killed as a witch.
Yes. Which I don't understand how she's his ancestor at that point.
Well, she could have had a kid first.
It feels like a thing that could have been established, you know?
She was killed as a witch. He is like, no, but she wasn't a witch. She was a Wiccan healer, and I hate that they're spreading this around, and that's why he wants them to catch the ghost.
Mm-hmm. He shows them a painting of her at one point, which looks really nice for like a Scooby-Doo production.
He also claims that just like somebody painted it because they were so grateful that she healed them, and I was like, that
doesn't make any sense.
As payment, though, that is like either way too high or way too low. That's like such a strange stretch, because how often do you have to stand for a painting? Like many times.
Yeah, if it's like the flu, well, I guess back in the 1700s, the flu would have been really bad.
Well, I don't know. We do almost the same thing for the flu now. If you went to a Wiccan healer with the flu, they'd probably tell you to eat food and drink water and stay in bed. And if you did all that, you'd probably have a good chance.
Yeah, and you're not going to go back and be like, I'm going to paint a portrait of you. Because
it's odd.
For giving me incredibly generic medical advice. But if they saved your life, if it was like you were dying of like consumption, there was no hope. They brought you to this witch because there was truly no one else they could turn to, and she saved your life. I'm probably going to do more than, like, just do a painting, right?
Right. The weird thing about the painting is it seems so ephemeral. Mm-hmm. Like, it's probably worth kind of a lot because, like, it was hard to get a painting. But also, like, nobody else is going to want this painting, so it's only worth a lot to you personally. Do you know what's worth the same amount to anyone? Is a bunch of potatoes.
A bunch of potatoes is really nice. Also, and I guess it should be pointed out that if this is like a Puritan town, they famously don't do anything fun like painting.
That's true. That's true. I've read Puritan poetry before, and like, some of it's good, but if you read, like, the introduction, it's always like, oh, this person could never talk about her poetry.
yeah, because, like, it's a sin. It's a crime.
Or you can only, like, do poetry that specifically talks about how great God is for making the world around you. Like,
these are people who gave themselves names like, you know, thou shalt not kill and shit. Like,
yeah. I just thought that was important to establish because I don't think we established it. So they're going to catch the witch.
Yeah. Also, I do want to point out, again, the painting itself, like the art asset, looks really good. It looks too good for this movie, actually. Like, they did a really good job at, like, imitating a style.
I forget how they catch the witch.
Oh god, how do they do it?
Probably a net or something.
A net. The Hex Girls are involved.
I remember that it's Velma's plan.
Yes.
Because she is very bad at pretending like she's scared of a witch.
Oh, right, yeah. This is really good. This is why Shaggy and Scoob are the go-to bait.
Yeah, because they feel it. Yeah, whatever. They catch it in a net or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I truly don't know. She, like, crashes into a bush.
If she, like, crashes, they pull off the mask. I don't even remember who's in the mask. Is it the mayor?
No, it's not the mayor. It's the pharmacist. Oh, it's
the chef. No, the pharmacist. Okay.
The guy, yeah, they call him the t-shirt guy.
Yes. Okay. He's the one more with the build for it. So...
Yeah, because he's, like, tall and lanky. He's got, you know, like, Doug Jones energy.
He was the witch, but, like, this was a group project to have the witch flying around so that it would drum up tourism.
Yeah, a bunch of other minor characters that we've met, like a lady, the diner guy, and
they're just, like, standing behind trees and Velma pulls them out one by one, which is very funny.
That is very good.
Like, why were they even here? They were not necessary for this to happen.
Spoilers for a 100-year-old book. So, you know, at this point you have no, I'm sorry if you're just too young and you didn't know. Mm-hmm. I love this, like, Murder on the Orient Express ending. I think it's fun that, like, a bunch of people are in on it. I do think that it being the whole town, or, like, all of these, like, town leaders, it's a little bit too quaint for me. Like, I think I would have preferred it if it was, like, I don't know, if it was, like, an amusement park mystery and it was, like, all the employees were in on it, right?
That could be good. So they find the ghost.
Mm-hmm. They did it. There's one last mystery to solve.
Oh, sorry, there's one thing I want to mention.
Yeah.
There's apparently an evil wind that gets blown in every time the ghost shows up, which I was not picking up on.
No.
But they mentioned that it was made by this giant fan, and I was like, I think you would hear the giant fan and be like, is there a helicopter overhead?
Yeah. All the way out here in rural Massachusetts? I think not. But there's one more mystery to solve. This fucking book...
Yeah, so the gang, the Hex Girls, and Tim Curry, go back and start talking about where they could find this book.
Real quick. The guy, the guy in the ghost costume is Thorne's dad.
Yes, the Hex Girls are locals. That's why they're doing this. That's why they have this job.
They're also not famous yet. They're talking about the fact that that this is going to be their last concert before their big record deal.
Yeah, they're they're a local Massachusetts, a small town of Massachusetts indie band, which is in a time basically pre-internet. Is pretty impressive.
Right, yeah. Well, 99, you got they have to be doing the forum, posting their stuff online, in that rudimentary way.
Uploading their stuff on Napster and then making sure they have a link to their t-shirts for people who download it on Napster.
Right, because again, it's been established that Thorne's dad makes t-shirts.
This is true.
They have to do that thing where people have to mail them a check to rural Massachusetts to buy it so that they can ship them their t-shirt.
Oh man, I just got a flashback to that.
Dude,
the thing I did as a kid.
Buying shit off the internet before the invention of the services that take care of that.
Yeah,
PayPal?
Debit cards before they were a big thing. Yeah, and PayPal for sure.
Oh, that's right, because credit cards weren't invented until 85.
Yeah, and not everybody had a credit card because they're basically they're seen as predatory.
Yeah.
And then not everybody had a debit card because debit cards are they're just for the bank.
So there was an era where if you really, really wanted your, I don't know, what's a famous internet thing? I'm so dated at this point. A has-been hotel t-shirt.
I was gonna say like a Neopets plush or something.
God, Jesus, dude, you gotta try harder to be more current.
I was going for a 90s one.
No, I wanna be relatable to people.
All right,
who are on
relatable
the
to the youths.
Yeah,
fine.
if you wanted to get your famous
hotel.
Yeah, your famous Twitch streamers merch, you had to go to their Web 2.0 website and then copy paste their PO box, write it down, put it in an envelope, beg your parents to write you a check, cut you a check for $20.
You don't mail cash. You can't mail cash.
You can't mail cash.
I mean, you can. I was about to mail cash and my dad took the cash from me and said, I will write you a check.
I will cut you a check. Yeah. Beg your parents to cut you a check for $25 and then just kind of wait. Maybe send them an email letting them know, hey, there's a check coming in the mail. It's going to be from this address. You can send the t-shirt to that address. And then 2 months later, you'd have a shirt. Nightmare scenario.
The only time I bought something off of the internet, I believe,
I was going to say, as a child.
As a child, I buy stuff off the internet all the time. It's so easy.
Yeah. You'd be a fool not to.
The only time I did this was for a free online video game that had a members thing for $10. Yeah. And this was at the time when if you played a free online video game, you might get booted off the server because so many other people were trying to play it and the server wasn't that big.
Yeah, so getting that premier access.
If you play on the members server, it is a different server and there's fewer members, so you'll never get booted off.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted that and I wanted the cool special sword.
I remember getting into an internal debate about how I was going to pay the one-time membership fee for Fallen London back in the day.
I didn't realize Fallen London was that old.
Fallen London's not that old. I think it's Fallen London's post MySpace. But I didn't have a checkbook or a credit card. So I had to, Jesus Christ, how old is Fallen London? 2009. Wow, that's a lot older than I thought. I didn't have a checkbook or a credit card in 2009, and so I'm sitting there like, how am I going to explain to my parents that I have to put their personal credit card information into a computer and that it's going to be fine?
Fingers crossed it's going to be fine.
Yeah, when downloading Shockwave is already a debate.
Well, the good news is you don't have to have the debate about Shockwave anymore.
God,
Shockwave
Jesus
lost.
Christ. Shockwave, well, and then Flash died of old age. Tragic. Yeah. So anyway, they're the Hex Girls and Scooby and the gang go to famous horror writer Ben Ravenscroft's house at like midnight to finally figure out where this goddamn fucking book is.
Right, so he's been wanting his ancestors' journal. He keeps talking about it.
To clear her name.
To clear her name, he claims. And Velma's the one who figures out the extremely, extremely, extremely basic idea that the tree that she's standing in front of in the portrait has been cut down and is now a tree stump. Yeah,
that it is in fact not the tree that looks nothing like it in the middle of town.
Right.
Here's the thing about trees, is that when a tree is significantly old, it doesn't change much. There is, I think, famously, like, a portrait in Europe of, like, some fucking noble standing in front of a tree, and, like, that tree's still there 200 years later.
Yeah, once a tree looks like how it's gonna look like.
But also, like...
Trees only grow up.
Yeah, but they grow thicker, right?
Yeah, so it doesn't change the core of the tree will not change.
You could easily, just by looking at that painting, be like, this painting has, like, a certain diameter, so it's about this old, and then go to the tree in the center of town and be like, this tree's a lot thinner than that, though.
Yeah,
which means it must be younger.
They go to where Scooby found that buckle from earlier.
Yeah.
They find the tree, they dig under it.
Mm-hmm. And then they find what I can only describe as a World of Warcraft tome.
I mean, doesn't it have a face on it?
It's got a skull on it.
Necronomicon, it does have a skull on it. Velma says it looks kinda evil, which I love.
It is, yeah. It's a pretty evil-looking book.
And Tim Curry calls it a spell book.
That's right. It's a spell book. His accent, his attempt at trying to like flatten his accent goes out the window at this point.
Yeah, no, I mean he's evil now. He's full British.
He is Tim Curry now. Yeah. He is no longer Ben Ravencroft. He's been possessed by the spirit of Tim Curry.
It is the funniest. This twist is so hilarious because this guy's just like throwing magic around like, ha 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 ha, I will be the greatest. And he makes it so he can see without his glasses, which is so hilarious.
Oh, that's right. Like he's a villain in an anime.
Particularly because both he and Velma lost their glasses earlier, and they're both like, I can't see without my glasses. And now he just like whips them off because his eyes are glowy now. He's just so evil.
He should have done a spell where he fixed his eyes. This is where we get truly the wildest reveal, which is that not only are witches real, they are in fact evil.
I mean, okay, here's the thing. Very important and very weird. Wiccans are still good.
Yes, sorry. There are also Wiccans who are good.
But witches are evil.
Are real and evil. Wiccans are real and good. And we shouldn't persecute witches, but we should let good witches persecute bad witches.
Yes, we shouldn't persecute witches except when we should. I mean, I guess that the story about what happened to her is false, too, because, like, she was put in that book by a good Wiccan at some point. We never learned that story.
They say a team of good Wiccans.
A team of good Wiccans, Power Ranger style.
Yeah. Ravencroft mentions that, like, a group of Wiccans trapped her in her own book. And I guess the Puritan town was like, listen, we're just gonna let them sort that shit out.
You know what? The best idea that Puritan town ever made was like, hands off, this is not our business.
Yeah, this is a witch problem.
This is a witch v. witch situation. Whoever wins, we lose.
We lose. Oh god, Alien vs. Predator is a trash movie.
So, he summons his ancestor. He's like, I want us to rule together. And she's like,
nah.
No, I'm gonna destroy everything. And he's like, I don't want to destroy everything.
I want to rule it.
And she's like, I'm gonna put you in a bubble for safekeeping.
I love this. This is so demeaning. Like, you have to go in timeout until the end of the movie.
It's so funny, too, because he is immediately, like neutered. Like, he is not in this movie anymore. Mm-hmm. And partially for that reason, partially because he would not go as evil as she suggested, I assumed he was going to be spared.
No, yeah. I thought that, like, afterwards they'd be like, well, I guess you're just a normal dude now, so, like, don't be evil again.
I thought it'd be like, this was not what I thought it was. I should never have done this. I should never have tried this, and be like all contrite or something. I want to mention it again, though. He is going to die.
Yeah, he does not. Well, I would say it's a fate worse than death.
Okay,
right?
Does he die though? Because the book burns.
No, I think that this is. I'm operating under mist logic here, which might be maybe mistaken on my part, but in my opinion, they're not physically in the book. The book is like a portal to a different like a prison dimension. A prison.
They're in the Superman 2 prison dimension.
Yeah, but breaking the door doesn't mean that the house disappears.
They just can't leave again.
They gotta bring this back. They gotta bring this back, right? Like, we've had so many Scooby-Doo movies since then. They have to have brought this back somehow.
I would really enjoy that. So this witch wants to destroy everything, and the gang is immediately like, "Well, we got to get that book from her and trap her again." Mm-hmm. By the by,
yes.
She kind of gave away how to trap her, because Ravencroft is like, well, if you're going to try to destroy everything, I'm not going to let you. So he tries to trap her in the book, and she laughs at him and says he's not a pure-hearted Wiccan. So they need a pure-hearted Wiccan.
But where are they going to find one, Tony?
I mean, she's literally like 15 feet away from them.
Yeah.
So the whole time, the town leaders and the Hex Girls have been here for all of this.
Oh, right, because the town leaders show up because they're like hat in hand, like, hey, Ben, we're so sorry that we implied that your great ancestor was some kind of evil witch and tried to use it to profit our town. We feel really bad. And the Hex Girls are there because they've just been hanging out. I would be fucking pissed if I went up to somebody and I was like, hey, I just want to apologize for implying that your ancestor was like some kind of evil ghost. And then they summoned them in front of me and were like, yep, that's right. Apology accepted.
I would be pissed too, but it would maybe be like low on my feelings of emotions.
Oh yeah, no, listen, there are other things going on, but
I do believe the town leaders all spend this fight scene in the stocks too.
Yes,
put them in the stocks at the beginning to like humiliate them, and then when the witch shows up, she just didn't bother killing them yet.
Yeah, listen, you gotta destroy the world one mystery machine at a time.
So the plan is, somebody needs to go get the book from the witch.
Yeah.
Give it to Thorn, who can read it and trap them.
Yes. Because Thorn is 1/16th Wiccan on her mother's side, by the way. Wiccan is like, not just an ideology.
A hilarious thing to say, because that's not what that means. You can't be 1/16th Wiccan. It's not Judaism, like, which is
I guess it is.
That's what they seem to think it is. It's like a religion that's also like, I cannot think of the word for when you inherit a thing, but it's like a racial religion, basically.
Yeah, that there is some form of like ethnic identity, as if Wiccanism, as it is today, wasn't a thing that was wholly made up in the 70s.
Here's the thing that I don't feel like we have conveyed.
Yeah.
There is 30 human minutes before this movie ends. And this is all of it. It's like mostly fight scene.
Yeah, we just get like a really prolonged chase scene here. It is literally wheel spinning.
I'll be honest though, like, I feel like they do some stuff to keep it bouncy, keep it, like, let it flow.
Oh yeah.
Like, what I would have hated, and what I realize as an adult that I do hate, is a Harry Potter fight scene. where, like, one person is shooting magic at another person. Fuck that.
Oh my
There's
God.
a little bit of that, but there is so much more turning pumpkins into evil pumpkins and turning a turkey into an evil turkey.
They didn't turn the turkey evil. They just made the turkey big.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it sure ran out of steam.
We get an evil tree at some point, which is the shit.
Love evil trees. The evil tree catches, like, everybody, too. Nobody can fuck with this evil tree.
It's a tree. What are you going to do?
Shaggy, for a while, drives around with the mystery machine with so few wheels. He
is doing, like, John Wick-style car kung fu.
He's not even the normal driver for this car, possibly because he's, like, in their back pocket for if they need him. Because he's like driving this car to Witch and she blows out a tire and he's like spinning on the tire like, oh, I got this. And she blows out another tire. He is driving on one tire for a while until finally they're like, all right, that's the end of the mystery machine.
And it is the end of the mystery machine, by the way. I feel like it should have gotten a bit more, I feel like I was more emotionally broken up than the movie at like, oh shit, is the mystery machine just destroyed now?
I think it's probably hand-waved as fine.
I don't even think they address it, really. Like,
yeah, that's what,
there's a lot of, I don't know if you ever watched, like, a football game. It's kind of like that. There's a lot of throwing the football back and forth, and then eventually we make the touchdown.
So, I thought the throwing it back, like, throwing it, and, like, somebody catches whoever's throwing it as it's being thrown. I thought that was kind of lame. There's one good bit that comes from it, which is that Velma, the last person in the chain, misses the catch. And I was like, that's peak Velma.
Truly, like, outside of her comfort zone for all of this fight scene. She spends a lot of this fight scene delegating.
Yeah, no. She's got the plan. This is... Velma's the coach. She is not supposed to be on the field.
Yeah. If Velma's on the field, like, something's gone wrong. Dude, I wish there was a world in which the coach of a professional sports team could be like, it's time. I gotta go out there. Because apparently that was a thing that happened. That was a thing that used to happen in the early 1900s sports all the time.
Amazing. So Thorne reads a spell.
Yeah.
And it starts sucking the witch back into the book.
She gets dragged to hell.
She yells, I'm not going alone, and grabs Tim Curry, a man who is only marginally evil. I feel like I have to mention.
Also, we should point out, famous horror writer
famous horror Ben Ravencroft has been pulled into an evil book, which then catches fire, or they set it on fire. I don't remember which.
I think it catches fire by happenstance, but I should point out that while he's getting dragged to hell, he's like clawing at the dirt like, somebody help me, and everyone else is like, nah, King, you good? You're alone on this one. And then Velma, a spurned lover Velma, says the line, I guess Ben Ravencroft's last book is one the world will never buy. Ice. Amazing. I expected the fucking CSI theme to start playing.
And that's just it. I guess they wrap up with another song from the Hex Girls, which is genuinely so bad.
It's not good.
And it's so funny, because I was like, I liked the Hex Girls' music. I liked their first song. And the second song is so not good, and they do this thing where, like, all the gang is also on stage dancing, and the gang feels like they're animated by a different studio. Like,
this is the most Hanna-Barbera-ass animation.
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be a throwback, because I'm pretty sure all of their animations are, like, canned on purpose, but, like, it just looks bad.
It just looks bad. It's just so bad and weird. It does. If the song was good, I might believe it. Like, yeah. It might work, but the song, I'm just listening to the song and watching this animation thinking, like, what is this what we're doing? And then the movie just ends. Scooby and Shaggy were played by the same guy again. Again, unspeakable filth.
They were not played by the same guy.
Weren't they? Who am I thinking of?
Sorry. I'm sorry. You are correct that Scooby and Shaggy were played by the same guy, but this was the first time that had happened.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, in the last movie, he was played by Philip Fry.
Oh,
for Futurama.
Philip J. Fry, sure.
But Futurama had come out this year, so he was busy. They got the voice of Scooby-Doo, I believe, to, like, come in for this one. We're gonna get, like, a couple of turnovers for Shaggy's voice actor here.
So, what'd you think of this movie, Andy?
I thought it was alright. It's a fun time. I really do think that it's just, like, a fun watch. It's definitely, I don't think, as good or as a classic as Zombie Island, but I had fun. Mm-hmm. And it's always good to get a Tim Curry performance out of there.
I think Tim Curry kind of sold the movie for me. Like, if he wasn't in here, I'm not sure I would like it nearly as much.
110%.
It's a fun movie. It went down smooth.
Yeah.
It was so funny to have Tim Curry just, like, chatting with Velma. Like, oh, that's a good point, Velma. Like, okay, Tim Curry.
Velma, how are we going to unlock this door? It's like... It's really good. It's just really good.
It's really good.
Oh, man. Yeah, I feel the same way, I think, about this movie as I do about, like, Beauty and the Beast, The Enchanted Christmas, which is just, like, his performance is so iconic in anything he's in.
Yeah, I would say that this movie does... I mean, it's got a better base than Beauty and the Beast Enchanted Christmas. You can just plug the Scooby Gang into anything, and it will be a perfectly watchable movie.
Yeah. I guess the only problem I have with this movie is I do think it's not as fleshed out, I think, as it could have been. Would you believe me if I told you that the original script for the movie was supposed to end with the town being in on it?
Really? That
Yes.
explains why Fred turns to the mayor and is like, and you were in on this too, even though I was like, he clearly wasn't. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Well, I'll tell you what. I don't know if I would have liked that better, but it would really sell the, like, it being sinister. Like, it would sell that, like, sinister idea. And I kind of like the idea that they had this whole ghost thing that Ravencroft did not know they were going to be doing. I was like, you're overselling it.
The original production team was like, you know what, this isn't good enough to be like a full movie, and so they like rewrote the second act of the film to like do a ghost surreal twist, which I think is fine. It's fun. It lends itself, I think, to what was established in Zombie Island, and I think if a world where Scooby-Doo went in the other direction for a bit longer, where, like, no, we're just going to be in a world where, like, monsters are real now for a bit, that would have been fun.
Mm-hmm. The strange thing is that they don't reference Zombie Island literally at all.
Yeah.
I feel like this has the same energy, and Fred mentions that they're not kids, and he doesn't like being called kids. Mm-hmm. So it really feels like, yes, this is a sequel to that, but Daphne is not recording her TV show. There is no particular reason why they seem to be doing this. They never talk about zombies. They never talk about the possibility of it being a real ghost, even though they also don't talk about the possibility of, like, the impossibility of it being a real ghost. They just, like, decide to investigate. And I kind of wish that they had a moment where they were like, well, it can't be a real ghost again. That was a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
That they did twice.
It would have been interesting to me if they played in that space a little more, but they just don't.
No.
And that's kind of fine, because that's how they have to do it, I feel like. It can't be too interconnected with the other movies. Yeah,
no, and I mean, the kind of back-to-back success of The Witch's Ghost and Zombie Island, I think is the reason why, to this day, we basically get like a Scooby-Doo movie every year. A direct-to-video movie every year. And I also think that the success of this is what kind of starts the process of getting us What's New Scooby-Doo later on in 2002.
Thank you for listening to Direct-to-Video.
VHS?
I have been your host, Tony Robusto.
I have been your host, Andy Reyes.
You can find me on Blue Sky or at inspiredbytrueevents.org. And I just got the copy of the book that I am in.
Ooh.
It has an embarrassing typo.
I saw you mention this, and it is truly a needle hidden in a beautiful gift, right? Like,
it's so funny. My dad read the book, found what he thought was a typo, but was actually a just like a storytelling choice on how to end that sentence.
Yeah.
And did not see what I thought of as the big glaring typo, so maybe
typo.
people won't notice.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
That is, to plug it one last time, and then I'm done because I don't get royalties from the actual book. A Summer of Sci-Fi and Fantasy Volume 3.
Nice.
I'll link it in the description.
Yeah, and you can find me at my new project, Project Revolution, on YouTube at Ethical Games Journalism. I don't remember why we picked that name for our channel.
It's very good. It's very bad.
Yeah, the next episode, which is going to be on Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 2, should be going up probably by the end of this weekend. We had to take some time off for vacation because we went to a different country, and then I got sick, and then a bunch of other stuff happened. What are we watching next? Where are we going after this? If it's the dog days of summer, and we're in it, it's summer now.
It's summer, for
I just
real.
saw my electricity bill. It's summer.
No, I've had to close doors to rooms so it doesn't get too hot in the middle of the day. Yeah,
Yeah, we're there.
Okay. Are we doing All Dogs Go to Heaven?
All Dogs Go to Heaven, 1989.
I have never seen this movie.
Oh, really?
This was a Bluth classic that flew under the radar for me.
Dude, I watched this movie so many times.
Interesting.
This movie and what was that? The similar one, but with the cat.
Oliver and Company.
Oliver and Company. This movie and Oliver and Company were like back-to-back watches for me, which looking back, I can see why I was a very sad child.
Oliver and Company's a fun movie, though.
It's a fun movie, but there are parts of that movie that are pretty rough. Right? Like, that movie doesn't exactly, like, start off in a great place.
It's Burn Fox and the Hound,
Oh.
as far as bleakness goes.
Yeah, it's not quite... Also a daily watch for me as a kid.
Yeah, no wonder.
I really just like talking animal movies, I guess, is kind of my thing.
And you didn't care if they were just miserable.
No, I think the act of watching a dog talk was already, like, the happiest I could be.
We're wrapping up. I just want to mention that in an adaptation of Paddington Bear, Tim Curry did play Mr. Curry.
Oh my god.
Which implies that in this version, Mr. Curry is just Tim Curry.
Alright, hold on.
Which is...
Really?
top tier.
That's amazing.
This was the 1990 Paddington Bear. It does not look very good.
Oh no.
It was like a cheaply animated, like a BBC TV type thing.
Oh wow. Oh, you know it's bad when you can't even get you have to go to IMDb to see the stills. Oh wow, they did 3 of these shows, huh?
There are lots of... Paddington got adapted a lot.
Oh, and there's a TV show going on right now based on the live-action show. Les Aventures du Paddington. At some point we have to check out the Paddingtons, because I've heard they're fantastic. And I've only seen the first one.
You've only seen the first one, the one that will not make you fucking cry.
Yeah, the first one was fun. It was a good time. I really liked it.
Yeah, the second one is like, I swear to God, art. Like, capital A art. It, like, has stuff to say about prison reform.
Wow. Amazing.
Anyway.
Sorry, real quick. There are 3 All Dogs Go to Heaven movies.
God damn.
But the third one is a Christmas Carol adaptation. So, I want to put a pin in that. Because, like you, I've also been looking at Tim Curry's IMDb page. And he was in an animated Christmas Carol as Ebenezer Scrooge.
Interesting.
And it looks pretty, like you said, like that kind of cheap British animation.
Yeah, like this was made for TV. They didn't have any money to put into it.
No. But they had enough money to get Tim Curry. So, How bad could it be?
We need to end this episode before we add more movies to the list of movies that we have to watch.
No, and wait, no, hold on. Are you? What are you saying? You're saying that the show has to have like a definite conclusion?
No, I mean that. I just think we'll be on the call forever discovering new movies.
New movies. That's true. There's always there's a world out there of direct to video. Anyway, you can find our stuff at direct2.video. Please make sure to rate us 5 stars on whatever app you use to catch our pod. And a big thanks.
Am I saying it?
You changed it, and I still don't remember. Is it Tim something?
Nope.
Damn it.
That was Tim Curry you're thinking of.
Right, I'm just looking at his face.
A big thanks to Tim Curry, who is singing us out right now. Thank you to Scott Buckley for Homeward.
Scott Buckley, that's right.
Which is our intro and outro. I am the ghost of John Smith.
And I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for that meddling Tim Curry.
I have low-key been on the Tim Curry IMDb page as we've been talking, so I will tell you he is in another Scooby-Doo movie, but not for a very long time. Not for like 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I have discovered an FMV Frankenstein game where he plays Dr. Frankenstein.
You didn't know about this?
I never knew about Frankenstein through the eyes of the monster. This looks amazing.
Oh, no. God, here, let me send you an LP of it.
I knew about his... I know about that other FMV game. What's it called? Where it's like the Cold War one.
Command and Conquer Red Alert.
Yes. Where he goes to space.
Yes.